So we're looking at the wall and the wall systems, and we have a lot of them. And this gentleman, who's a real expert, you've been doing this how long?
25 years, sir.
And you were here before they had a wall.
Correct. I started here in 1992.
And what was it like until you built the wall? And the wall, by the way, is that wall up there, which is just sheet metal, but still at least it works a little bit. How was it before you built the wall?
So there was effectively no border in San Diego. It was a chaotic situation. This fence behind me, it was made out of scrap metal that the military wasn't using, that we set in place to really just delineate the border once again.
You needed something.
And it changed our environment. We went from, we decreased the illegal cross-border traffic by 95% with that fence and the roads and the lights and the technology.
So that's 95% with a scrap metal wall that they just put together with excess material. And it worked 95%. And that wall they can get over very easily. These walls they can't. But you know, for the people that say no wall, if you didn't have walls over here, you wouldn't even have a country. You wouldn't even have a country. And by the way, the state of California is begging us to build walls in certain areas. They don't tell you that. And we said, no, we won't do it until we build the whole wall. But there are certain areas, as you know, where they're really wanting us to build a wall. And because the people are complaining, people are pouring in. So, you know, they don't talk about that. Well, I do have a preference. The problem is you have to have see-through. You have to know what's on the other side of the wall. And I mean, a preference is something like that. The problem is you don't know what's on the other side of the wall. And if you don't know what's on, I mean, you could be 2 feet away from a criminal cartel and you don't even know they're there. Now, we have equipment to take care of that, x-ray equipment, etc. But if you're on that side of the wall, that's the hardest wall to scale. It's got a lot of assets. The problem is, tell them, what do you think about the importance of see-through?
When I have a see-through wall, sir, I know what's approaching the border before it approaches. We have great partners in Mexico with the law enforcement on that side. I can call them for assistance. I don't get the opportunity to get ahead of a threat if I can't see it approaching.
And what's the danger of not having the see-through?
When the steel metal fence behind us, we learned from that, and back in the 90s, we went in and actually cut in ports where we could see on the south side. We found that smugglers were using the fence to hide behind. And they were either rocking our agents or they would acquire large groups of people or narcotics, and then they would just rush across the border quickly.
Now, if you just have a pure fence, now that's a fence, a very sturdy fence. But coming up, I noticed, the first thing I noticed, look how many holes are in that fence. Now, they fix the holes, but it doesn't look very good. They just patch it with more fence. But you take a look at the fence, and it's a very powerful fence, not doing the trick, because they cut holes in it, and then they're patching holes all the time. I'm just looking, you have hundreds of holes cut in and patched. So the fence is not strong enough. It's not the right idea. But for those people, if you don't have a wall system, we're not gonna have a country. There's a lot of problems in Mexico. They have a lot of problems over there. And they have the cartels, and the cartels, we're fighting the cartels, and we're fighting them hard. Nobody ever fought them like we fought them. I mean, we fight them hard. But the fact is, if you don't have a wall system, it would be bedlam, I imagine.
It's very hard to control with just personnel, sir. It's a combination of all of the above.
So we're looking at the walls where you have really some see-through capability. If you don't have some see-through, it's a problem. So we'll take a look up here.